Hey all, in this video example we're going to take you through crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is the workflow where users who visit your locator can claim a location and make edits to that in a controlled way. And within MetaLocator, you can set up crowdsourcing as long as you have access to that add-on. If you'd like to purchase or demo that add-on, contact support. In this account we have crowdsourcing enabled, and so what we've done is through that, in the results, we've configured a special field called claim, which is shown here as edit this location. We can put that link wherever we want in the locator. It could go in the details pane, but it allows a user to click that button and potentially modify that location. And so the first step is to add that claim link and configure it as you need to. The next thing that you need to decide is what fields they'll be able to edit. And so under crowdsourcing on the left-hand side, you'll see that you get to build out the form that users can use to modify the location. So you get to choose every field that they can access and the ones that they cannot. There's a few other options in here that we're going to leverage. One is to stage changes for approval. For enterprise and higher customers, you have access to staging changes, which protects the version that the user edited and holds it in a staging area so that you don't immediately update the data in your database before approval. Edit on front end, that exposes the ability for the end user to claim and edit locations on the front end. There's another flow where you can log into MetaLocator and edit locations in the back end just like an administrator would, but you only see the 1 or 2 locations you might have access to. Show add link enables this little plus button that allows you to add new locations. So if you're looking in this directory and you don't see the profile you want to edit, you can choose instead to add it. And then we have the option to show a login link at this stage, which we're not going to do. So this is the locator that we have set up. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And we're going to now switch over to the customer experience of claiming a location and then kind of what that looks like in the back end. For more information on how to set up crowdsourcing, refer to the documentation. There's a ton of detail in that in the support articles. And so let's say that I've arrived at your locator. I'm using a different browser in this case so that I'm logged out of the admin view, just so if you're wondering why I'm running Firefox. Let's say, for example, that I am this Winding Woods location and I want to make a change, for example, to the phone number. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit this location, and it's first going to ask, kind of who are you? And so I will type in an email address. I'm going to use this trick that allows me to create kind of a bogus email, and I'll say this is me, and hit submit. And what that's going to do is it'll generate a notification to the administrator that a user has requested access to a location. And so if I go off screen here and I check my email, I'll see a notification here that says I should allow access. And so when I click that, let's see what happens. I'll end up in the user manager and I'll see this new person who's come in, and notice they are not enabled. And so I can enable them here, but there's actually 2 levels of enablement. So let's look a little closer. I can see that I can enable the user, and then I can see any locations that they have requested access to. When we were kind of pretending to be a front-end user, notice I only requested access to 1 location, but I could have gone in and requested access to multiple locations. Had I done that, you would see those access requests listed one after the other, including links to the location I requested access for and details about that request. In this case, I'm simply going to enable access, and then I'm also going to enable access to those individual locations. Because that happened, I got an email now as this person. I received an email that says choose a password for your account. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm actually going to do it in Firefox so that I can experience it as if I were logged out. So let's go back here. And I get a chance to type in my email address and choose a password. We'll just choose password. Now that I'm logged in, I have a chance to make changes to the individual location that I've been granted access to. You can see in the background there's a little heart icon next to that one. That indicates that I've been approved for access to that, and the system was nice enough to put up the form. I only have access to change name, address, city, state, and so forth. So test, I'll change that too, and I'll also add some products and services. And so I'll go ahead and hit submit. And it'll say locations have been received and are under review by an administrator. Those are under review because we've chosen to stage our changes. We also have the option though to trust that user and put those changes live right away. But let's see what's happened here. Under locations and all records, and under versions, we should now see a new version that has been submitted. I also got an email as the owner of this account that a new version of this record has been submitted. So let's go ahead and look at the changes that have come in. I can see that the name has changed, and I can also see that the categories that location was in has also changed. And so I can choose to approve these changes right away, or I can choose to reject them depending on what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and approve these. So this will actually overwrite the red stuff. It'll overwrite the black stuff with the red stuff, and click OK. And that went ahead and updated the location and updated the categories associated that the user chose. And so that is essentially the flow that the users experience and the customers experience. This allows end users to make changes to their profile, and it allows administrators to receive those changes in a controlled way where they can review them, modify them, accept them, and reject them. Thanks for your time and attention.